Welcome back to the Stockwell Eldridge Show. Jason Stockwell, Remax Results.
And I'm Dawn Eldridge, Remax Results.
And we've been fortunate to have Don Doty, who is an inspector, an author, and he does lots and lots of inspections every day, an expert in the field, so that's what we want. We work with experts, and Dawn and myself would also call ourselves experts in our field of real estate. And that's what you need in today's market with how fast-paced it is and how many things can affect you in the sale of your home or the purchase of your home or in your lending with, that's why we have Stephanie on here too for Wells Fargo, the largest lender in the country, right, Stephanie?
Absolutely. Number one in the nation.
So we need people that know what they're doing, how to get the job done, and how to do it. And we have Chad with New Age Technology, who's got years and years of experience in low voltage, home theater, smart home technology. Now is the new phrase they use, smart home technology, making your home more suitable for today's day and age with the mobility and the traveling and all things that we do now. And we want to protect our home and also make sure that it's a safe place as well. So I think those are very, very great things for you and your family, usually most of the time. So one thing I wanted to touch base, as Don said before the break, is things not to do from a home inspection aspect, but also from a real estate side. Dawn, something you should not do. What's something you should not do if you're thinking of selling your home or buying a home next spring, say February, March?
Something you should not do?
Should not do. Let's say I'm a buyer, and or maybe I should ask Stephanie this. I'm a buyer, and it's Christmas, and it's coming up on Christmas, and my goal after January is to buy a home. I want to buy my first home. What should I not be doing over Christmas?
Opening up new credit cards, taking on new debt,
buying
nothing.
a car.
We tell people that all the time. I mean, it's one thing at a time. People do get so excited when they want to buy a new house.
But you know what? I want a car with a ribbon around it in my driveway for Christmas, but I still want to buy a home in February.
Well, that's fine. You can do that, but just check with your lender first and make sure that you can afford that car payment in your budget.
Yes.
Because it does impact it. We see people all the time. What happens, your credit reports are only good for so long. So people will get pre-approved, say, in the fall, and then all of a sudden that home of their dreams comes along, and in the meantime, they have bought a car.
Or what happens in December, you load up $5,000 on your credit card
You go to the
for
mall
Christmas.
and you get all these new credit cards, and we got to explain those inquiries. But what happens, though, is people are fine and they qualified, but then they went out and bought that new Lexus, and that's a $600 car payment. Well, that just threw out your debt-to-income ratios.
Yeah.
And lending guidelines, they're very specific. People say, well, it doesn't matter. I pay all my bills, and I'm going to get inheritance from my grandma, in 2 months, and I'll pay it off. Well, that doesn't work for us right now. And I would say, selling a home, don't start any do-it-yourself projects, right?
Don't start any
do-it-yourself. Oh, don't start any projects?
Talk to a realtor first and see where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. Because I watched the house near me, I'm not going to say exactly where, and the seller, it did sell, but it sold for a lot less than it should have. They invested in the wrong things to do on the house. They had hardwood floors under the carpet that had never been walked on. They ripped out the old carpet and put down new carpet.
And they could have just saved
They could have just kept the carpet out.
There's a lot of little things that you shouldn't be doing. And and if you know if you're thinking about selling, consult before you do your project. And your project, generally speaking, if it's a renovation project, it's a joke, but it's so serious. It's going to take a lot longer than you expected, and it's going to cost more money than you expected. And you're going to find things that you didn't want to find, and you're going to have to fix that too because you're already in it this far. So
what things were you going to say, Don, that they shouldn't do? Did we already talk about them?
Well, okay, so if you're going to put your house up for sale, you want to maximize your money. So you get an expert. You get you guys. You get an expert loan officer, but you also should get an expert inspector, a certified, licensed inspector. So here's some of the things you should not ever do, because this is going to detract from your house. Don't ever put those plug-in refresheners in the walls to cover up, whatever it is you're trying to cover up. Don't do that. Because that right away is basic 101 there's a problem.
So all your kids' hockey gear, you don't want to put that in there to cover up the smell. That's what you're saying.
Just have the smell.
Yeah. When it comes to a basement, a wet basement, disclose it. Say, yep, whenever there's a big rain, this corner over
gets
here.
Wet.
Yeah, don't go down there.
It's more common than you think, folks. Way more common than you think in Minnesota.
Yeah, don't go down there and try to paint over it and then say, no, I've never had a problem. Because you will then have a problem if you try to get away with something. A good inspector, I'm going to find out. And then if I'm doing a buyer inspection, now I'm going to actually go after you for lying to me, is the way I do an inspection. If you're trying to cover something up, and I just think if I don't see it, my buyer buys this house, my buyer's going to be mad at me. I'm going to get the first phone call.
Yep.
So I'm going to be extra precautious if I start seeing a lot of homemade handyman projects, due to plumbing, due to electric, this kind of thing. If you're a handyman, don't try to do it, where it's wrong, because I'm going to find it. And when I find it, people are going to walk away. You don't want people to walk away. Yeah. You only need one person to buy it. So you don't need 10, 15 of them to look at it.
Well, I can tell you there have been instances as well when we are doing a loan, like if the appraiser does something, or often, they have to take interior photos. Yep. And oops, we had one where there's an interior photo, and we have an internal appraisal review team as well. So, the appraiser sends it in. At Wells Fargo, we take an extra step, and we have that appraisal reviewed. Well, they, technology zoomed in on the picture. It was like, what are those black spots in the corner? That looks like mold to me. Yeah. And sure enough, then they recalled for, did you get a home inspection? Well, sure enough, there was mold, and they tried to cover it up, but Inspector Clouseau, those underwrite. Well, and the appraiser was doing his job, taking the interior photos. Yep. They have to take a picture of the actual water running, on certain loans. So that's a good point in those inspections. Don't try to hide it
Don't try to hide it, because we'll find it.
Right.
Oh, and buyers will go after someone that doesn't.
Yeah. I will punish. Yeah.
All about disclosure.
I'll punish the seller.
Yeah, it's better to disclose and, like we said, lay it all on the table. And if you have the ability to fix it, take care of it, and say that and do it properly. If you don't, maybe you're a seller and you're like, I don't care. It never bothered me, and I ain't going to fix it. And we get some of those too. Just know that as long as you disclose it and it's there, you're going to find some buyers that are going to be turned off by it and won't buy. But you will find one who will, and you'll probably be sacrificing price a little bit. But you still will sell it, and that's still doable.
Well, and that's the point. Like you said, why would you go through all this process, selling your home, getting excited, you're going to go buy your new home, and then a week before closing, we noticed some black spots in the photo, found out it was mold, and there you go. Now you have a lot of other problems where, just deal with it up front. Like you said, you got great realtors are going to tell you, or you got a great home inspector who's just going to say, look, here's the deal. I know this. I've seen it. Trust the experts. Like, that's why I guess I was saying with your stuff too, Chad, the, DIY, you think all these young millennials, I know my nephew, he's just whip smart, all that stuff, but it's like, do you really, know what you're doing, or you should trust the expert?
And one last thing with the holidays, we're in the middle of it. Be grateful, and also be grateful for, even if something goes wrong in the sale, just be grateful and try to be courteous to your real estate agent, to myself, to Don, and to Chad, and to Stephanie, because nothing is perfect. So even if you're lining up a sale and you're going to get these hurdles, we're working our hardest to get through those for you, and you're going to have some of them. So our job is to get through them as best we can, and just have hopefully a gracious, caring attitude as well.
Well, and Tony Robbins, I'm going to say it again, life happens for you, not to you.
Yes.
So just think all this is happening for you, for something greater to come. It might seem like at a time, but it's happening for you.
Thank you, Don Doty, Chad, New Age Technology. I'm Jason Stockwell, Remax Results.
And I'm Don Eldridge, Remax Results.
Thanks, Stephanie. Remember, love yourself and love others. Have a great week, folks.
Great weekend.